Hey there, I'm Luke McIntosh from becomeabassist.com, and in this lesson you're going to learn all about the glance method that you can use to instantly start playing music with guitarists, even if you don't know the same songs and even if you've never done it before. Tell me if you've ever been in this situation. Maybe you're at a jam session playing bass, and a guitarist jumps up and starts playing some song you don't know. No mention of the chords, no mention of the key, absolutely nothing that gives you the slightest hint of what you could play. You might take a shot in the dark and guess a note that might work, but what are the chances of it being the right note at the right time? They're pretty slim, right? If you've got a bit of experience and you have a good ear, then you'll probably be able to figure it out eventually. But what if you haven't developed your ear yet? What if you haven't even thought about ear training? What then? Do you just hack away at notes and hope something sounds good at some point? Do you wait for everyone to give you the stink eye before someone finally comes over and tells you what to play? Do you just not play at all, give your bass to someone else who does know this song? None of these are very good options, right? But there is an alternative, a kind of trick that lets you play songs you've never played before with people you've never played with before. This is a method I use myself to this day, and it hasn't failed me yet. I use it a ton when I'm playing with singer-songwriters, and they love me for it because I'm always right there on the same page with them. The trick is in learning just a few basic guitar shapes so you can quickly glance at what the guitarist is playing and then play the exact right note at the exact right time. For example, if you know what a D major chord looks like when the guitarist plays it, then you know that when you see them playing that shape, you can play a D on your bass and it's going to work great. Just a glance is all you need, enough to get a sense of the shape of the hand, and you're good to go. Now, if you already play a bit of guitar, then this will probably be easy and obvious to you, and that's great. If that's the case, then you're probably already using this method. But in case you don't play guitar at all, here's a crash course on some of the most common chords you'll find guitar players playing. Let's start at the very beginning. I've been told it's a very good place to start. Now let's start with our A chords. One of the good things about the glance method is that there is one bass note for multiple chords and different chord voicings. For example, number 1 up here is one version of an A major chord, and number 2 up here is one version of an A minor chord. But guess what? You can play A on your bass for both of them. That's either your open A string or your 5th fret on the E string. Yeah, or any of the other A's on your bass are going to work as well. Do you see how this works? See how these shapes correspond to this note right here? If you see any of these shapes, play this note on your bass. Simple as that. Now what about our C chords? Well, they look like this. All of these shapes will correspond to a C on your bass. That's your 3rd fret on the A string or the 8th fret on your C string. 8th fret on your E string, not a C string. Now anytime you see one of these shapes pop up, you can plug in that C and be sure you're going to be playing the right thing. You start to see how useful this method is? Next, let's look at some of our D chords. Number 1 up here is a standard D major chord, and number 2 is your classic D minor voicing. Again, you can use D over each of these shapes. That's either your open D string, the 5th fret on your A string, or the 10th fret on your E string right there. Let's look at some E chords next. Once more, we've got example number 1 is an E major chord. Number 2 is an E minor chord. They're very, very similar, just one note difference. But if you see either, an E is going to work great. Either open E string or the 7th fret on the A string, 2nd fret on the D string is also going to work super well. But before we move on from these E chords, just take a notice of the E major chord. It's actually very similar in shape to the A minor chord that we just talked about. Let's have a look at them side by side. See how they're the exact same shape, just moved over one string? This is one of those tricky areas where you really need to be a bit careful and look closely. You don't want to play the wrong one here. But let's keep moving along now. Let's check out some G chords. These are super common, and there's a few different ways to play them. These are two of the more common ways to play G major, but they're both the same G chord and they'll line up with the G on your bass. That's the 3rd fret on your E string right there, or the 5th fret on your D string as well. Potentially even the 10th fret on your G string. Sorry, on your A string, my bad. Also, take a quick look at the first example, example number 1. Does it look familiar? It's actually very similar to one of the C shapes we saw earlier, right? If we look at the two of them together, you'll see that just the index and middle fingers are one string over for the C shape. This is another one you need to look closely and make sure you're playing the right bass note here. Now, we've just blazed through all of these shapes. We moved pretty quickly, so I wouldn't blame you if you didn't catch it the first time. So if you want the cheat sheet with all of these shapes in one place, I've taken the time and put together a free PDF on becomeabassist.com that you can download right now. It has all the shapes in there in one place so you can quickly and easily learn them. So by the time you go to play with a guitarist, you'll know exactly what to do in advance. Not only does the PDF have all the shapes we've talked about so far in this lesson, it also covers bar chords, as well as what to do if a guitarist decides to use a capo, which can be a bit tricky. To get the guide, just click the link underneath this video, sign up on the page, and I'll send it straight to your email inbox and you can get started right now. Now, one final pro tip before you go. If you know you're going to be in this kind of situation in advance, playing with a guitarist and you don't know their songs, try to set up on the side where you're going to see their fretting hand. For example, if I'm playing with a right-handed guitarist, I'll set up on their right-hand side so I can get a good view of their left hand, their fretting hand. Ideally, for a left-handed guitarist, I'd set up on their left. Being able to see their fretting hand will make this so much easier. And if you actually have access to a guitar, try playing some of these shapes as well. You'll learn them on a much deeper level, and when it comes time to play, you'll have no trouble recalling what the shapes look like. To recap though, you learned all about the glance method. You learned that the only thing you need to do to play songs with a guitarist that you don't know is learn some of the basic guitar shapes and then play the bass notes that line up with those chords. It is really that simple. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you download that PDF, and if you like this video, click that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Good luck and happy playing. I'm Luke McIntosh from becomeabassist.com, and I'll see you very, very soon.